Hello, and welcome to another episode of The End of the Search. This one I call it, it's not about throwing in the towel or throwing the towel. It's about not carrying it. What do I mean by that? A lot of times when we think about throwing in the towel, it's kind of a rendition. In reality, we're not here, or at least these videos are not about just throwing in the towel, give up or something like that. It's about not carrying it. What I mean by that is that the attitude of just throwing in the towel is when we become exhausted, we cannot do it anymore, we're tired of fighting and we just give up, I can't do this anymore. You know, the suffering is so intense that I just give in, throw in the towel. But that is more like resignation. You see, that carry a heaviness. Not carrying the towel, however, is about effortlessly living without carrying the thought system that we're so identified with. You see? The thing is that for this to really be appreciated, peace is what we have to want more than anything else. Because peace requires no effort. Holding on to anything requires effort. So a lot of times when people want to let go of suffering, they want to stop suffering, they don't really want peace. You know, they don't want truth, put it this way. They just want to stop suffering. But there's, you know, again, it's another resignation. I'm tired of suffering, I let go, but then what do you hang on to? And what I mean hanging on to is that if peace is not something you truly desire, what is the motivation to really let go of it all? When there's a true desire for peace, it's like I've heard once about a little, you know, I guess it's in India, they said that a little worm or caterpillar, it has to let go, before it let go of one leaf, it has to hold on tightly to another one. You see? Before letting go of one leaf, it has to hold on tight to another leaf. Well, here, when you hold on tight to truth, when you hold on tight to peace, now you have a leaf that is it's a release, you see? And then you can let go of the other, which would be letting go of the towel. But it's not throwing in the towel because I'm exhausted, it's I am already clinging on to something that is really important, that's something that is permanent. Right now, when I say, if you don't believe with any thoughts what remains, you notice that what remains is ever-present, effortless being. You see? You're not hanging on to it necessarily, you're just simply being what you already are. What you were hanging on to, however, was the towel called me, individual, and its old belief system. So, letting go of all that belief system without replacing it with another one in the world of appearances, of course, is scary, it's petrifying. But here, we're not asking you to replace a belief system with another one. What we're asking is to surrender to the peace that you are, so that all belief system can be dropped. Without a belief system, what remains is what I am. What I am is not a belief. What I am is the direct experience that is happening right now. It's eternal. It never changes, which you can rest in always. The thing is that we see how the mind is so identified with the belief I'm a separate individual, and now it has all the belief that pertain to that individual. You see, my protection, my security, my desires, whatever. But all of that are just different variations of the cause, you see, which is the belief I am a person. You see, imagine a tree has many branches. Well, each branch is a different belief. And changing one branch for another one does not get rid of the problem. The problem is that as long as there is a tree, branches will continue to grow. Well, in this case, we're cutting the tree from the root. We're going back to the root. The root cause is what I am. If I do not know what I am or who I am, I will I'll be acting according to who I believe that I am, which in this case is a person, an individual. And the thoughts is what are used to reinforce that belief. Because the belief that I'm an individual is a thought itself. Without the thought I am an individual, what am I? I simply am. And this amness does not have to be sustained, is the background that remains always. What has to be sustained is the belief that I superimposed on that background. And you are that background right now. Right now you cannot not be. That is what you are. The problem is you believe you are being someone or something, an object. So right now, if you don't identify, if you don't believe whatever the thoughts are telling you, it doesn't matter. Whatever the thoughts, let them be. But if you don't believe any of them, what remains? I'm not asking you to answer me. I say this in every video. I'm pointing to what is. You see? If you're not believing any thoughts, you're resting in what is. And that isness does not need to be held on to. Is the net in which you rest when you let go of the bar. And the bar is all the beliefs that we seem to have about ourselves, about life, about everything. Overriding the fact that we are. You see? So we're not throwing in the towel, we're just not holding on to it. And not holding on to it is a sense of release, is peace. Throwing in the towel, so to speak, is like I'm resignated. I'm still holding on to the sense of identity, but now I'm suffering the resignation of I cannot do this anymore. But the invitation here is to realize that there's no need to suffer. It's just that see how you're hanging on, or whoever may be hanging on to their beliefs of who they think they are and who they think they are, and all the stuff that they think that they want. That's what requires a lot of effort. You know? And as long as I have the goodies, I keep going. And then we need a support system, motivation people who motivate us to keep on going until we cannot do it anymore. You see? And finally, there's a resting. And that's why you could say that, you know, not everybody, but I mean, again, according to their script, right? That people, when they're young, they want to eat the whole world. They have all that energy, but then as they get older, that energy starts dropping away, and those who doesn't seem to get what we're pointing to, they end up suffering, and they end up trying to make sense of things, and again, some might end up depressed because they don't realize that life is slowing you down on purpose so you can rest in that peace that you are, that have always been available since you were born, but it was overlooked, it was forgotten by all the activity. You see? That's why the body is not designed to continue on forever with more and more activities. You see? It's actually designed to slow down, because the slowing down has nothing to do with the body. It's the slowing down of the mind, so you can recognize that you are, which is what you have been since you were, well, when you were born, it seems like a body appears, but before you had the capacity to interpret it like a baby, you simply are. You're resting in the beingness that you are. Well, you're returning back to that beingness, hopefully consciously. You see? And then the pursuit of things, and they're chasing things, they're trying to distract, it's no longer necessary because now you have found yourself. Well, these videos are about just realizing that you are the self. And the self doesn't have to throw in the towel. If anything, is realizing how many towels is collected to say, you know what, I don't want to hold on to any of these towels. And you will have the towels that are needed for you while you're still existing here. So you see, it's not that you have to chase things. You don't have to go after things. You don't have to pursue things. You know, everything will be added on to you. Because it's part of you. You are the ever-present everything. Just get rid of the idea of this seeming individual, and then all the division between you and the rest seems to drop away. Yeah, perception may occur, I mean, still occurring. I still perceive a camera that seems to be separate from me, but in reality, all that there is me. If all that there is me, the camera is a part of me, the world is a part of me, everything is a part of me because I am. We're resting in the I am. This is where these videos are pointing to the obviousness of the fact that you are. Right now, you are being. Just notice how the mind is translating and dividing and compartmentalizing. But the sense of being, the underlying energy that is what makes everything seems to be appearing is the same. So tell me where that energy stops and when it begins. Between you and I right now, the eyes will say, well, it starts right there and it starts right here, but where in the middle, where the energy, where you see the division, and you won't see any division. That's why when people take a hallucinogen, for example, I'm not asking you to do that, but I'm saying that when people take hallucinogens, the only thing that seems to disappear is the mind conceptualizing and the mind dividing. So all of a sudden, they and the whole environment is one with them. Because the mind is not fixed in a point that says me and that. It's all that, you see? Well, we can live like that without being influenced by any hallucinogen, because the hallucinogen here is the mind that is making us believe the opposite. You see, you take a hallucinogen pill and the mind is out of the way and all that there is oneness. Well, we have taken another hallucinogen pill, which is a belief system that says that everything is separate. See? That's why in the movie The Matrix, you can take the blue pill or the red pill. Well, one of the pills is the hallucinogen that says this world is your reality, you are this body, everything is separate from you. And the other pill is the hallucinogen that just gets rid of that that belief system, and now you're one with everything. You see? Well, right now you are being one with everything because you are everything. There's nothing that you are not, except when the thought gets in the way and says, I am this, and therefore everything is. You see? I think there's a quote that I take it as misquoted, I would say. I don't know who's the one who said it, that says, I think, therefore I am. Well, unfortunately, actually it's the other way around. I am, therefore I think. Because if there's no I am, if there's not the capacity of being, then thinking cannot happen. Thinking happens in what I am. It's not that a thought appears and then the I am appears. No, it's the other way around. It's like when you're sleeping and you're dreaming. Dream cannot appear without the mind. It's not that the thinking all of a sudden thinks a person dreaming a dream. No, no, no. The person dreaming the dream is the I am, and the thinking that seems to be taking place within the characters in the dream is a projection from the I am. So it's not I think, therefore I am. I am, therefore I think. I am, therefore I feel. I am, therefore I believe that I am a separate entity. And we're resting in the I am. And in this I am, is there any towel to throw in? No. All that there is peace. Only when you believe you're that seeming person that eventually the towel have to be thrown in, because you cannot go against the nature of your beingness. And the nature of your beingness is to remember who you are. It's like a caterpillar that is about to turn into a butterfly. It's destined to turn into a butterfly whether he likes it or not. And when he's beginning to feel all this discomfort or whatever, he could fight all it once, you see, until finally throws in the towel. I cannot do this anymore. And the conversion or the transformation begins to take place. The difference is that a caterpillar, assuming that it would be able to think, right? A caterpillar who simply is totally surrendered to what is not allowing the mind to interpret, live that transformation peacefully. the caterpillar who is trying to hold on to the sense of identity because of fear, because it's hanging on to its belief system, will still have to deal with that transformation, but it's going to suffer it all the way through. You see? And in the end, after all the suffering and turns into a butterfly, it goes, oh my God, all this suffering for nothing? Well, this is the point here. All this worry for nothing, all this holding on to the towel for nothing. You see? Because when you are, you realize, oh my God. So we're not pointing to the Arandes, capital U, capital Y, right? Capital Y, yeah, U. Because that is beyond the scope of this seeming human experience, but you can have the fragrance of that experience, which is translating to what is referred to as the peace that passes all understanding. That's the fragrance of that, while you still seem to have a body. So actually, it's a win-win situation. First of all, just surrender completely. It takes away all the weight and everything, you know, all the concern. And because the recognition that I am is there, then you're always winning. You're at peace no matter what. You live in the world with a mind that is not of this world. You see? And that can be experienced right now, right this moment. You don't have to do anything, so in the future you have this experience. Let's put it to the test. Come on, we do this every year, in every video. Right now, whatever may be taking place in your life or your experience is just only because there's an identification with the character. That's it. But right now, take a deep breath, and I'm not asking you to close your eyes or anything like that, because I don't want to turn this into any kind of practice. I'm just simply pointing to the obvious. Right now, if you don't believe any thoughts, the thoughts will be there. I'm not saying push them away. I'm not saying they will not be there. I'm not saying control the mind, because that is still the character thinking that needs to do something, and there's nothing to do here. This is the point. This is beingness. So right now, right this moment, just don't believe any thoughts. Let them be there. This guy is talking stupidity. Oh, that accent is funny. Oh, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. These are thoughts. That's fine. You know, I'm not asking you to believe me. I'm just asking you to have your direct experience. Oh man, I gotta do laundry tomorrow. Oh, my son, my daughter. Oh, you see all these thoughts. Oh, my body feels this way. These are thoughts. Let them quack, 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 quack. Let it talk all at once. That's fine. Right now. Just don't believe any of them. Just don't believe any of them. That's all. That's all I'm asking you. That's all. Don't believe any of them. You see? What remains? Don't answer. If you answer, you went back to the mind. What remains? What remains is a sense of, it's a tranquility, right? It's a, you know, it's that release. You see? Well, what has happened is not that you threw in the towel, is that you're not holding on to it. You see? Doesn't feel like resignation, doesn't feel like a sacrifice. It's simply the experience of the peace that passes all understanding, which is a reflection of what you truly are. And well, this is inspiration that came through. I hope it served. And as always, may peace permeate the mind so that love can be extended.